Hello, everybody. I think we're getting started here. So welcome to Lightning Talks. It's me and then Matthew McCluskey, who I think is online, I saw. So to get started, we are going to be talking about AILS, a model for AI literacy. I was really excited to discover this. I'll tell you who I am. I'm Nicole Westerdahl. I'm a research, instruction, and outreach librarian here at Penfield Library. And I'm really excited because information literacy is something I think about a lot, and AI is becoming part of that. So SUNY Gen Ed has updated, you've all probably heard this, effective for all students coming in this fall. They've changed the information literacy core competency to include AI. So the way they've done this is a little more vague, where they say you have to evaluate information from different origins, and then also call out an understanding of ethical dimensions of information use, including artificial intelligence. So while AI literacy itself is not officially included as a core competency, it has been incorporated as part of information literacy. And a lot of the information literacy that you already teach in your classes or you collaborate with a librarian on is still going to be relevant for AI, but there's also a separate model. So in 2022, Wang, Rao, and Yuan's Measuring User Competence in Using Artificial Intelligence, Validity and Reliability of Artificial Intelligence Literacy Scale was published. You'll note that this is before the public release of ChatGPT 3.5, but it was after ChatGPT 3 had been developed, people were aware of it. So that type of AI was still addressed by this scale, which is nice. So AILS is Artificial Intelligence Literacy Scale, which means it is actually an assessment tool. It's a 11 question, basically Likert scale, that you complete to assess you or your students' comfort and ability to use AI. However, I am not proposing that you use this as an assessment tool. You know all of your own assignments. You are comfortable with the best way to teach AI with your classes. You will be learning about lots of assignments here today, including next. So there's no need to go into the full 11 questions, but the 11 questions are based on 4 foundational constructs. So I find these constructs really compelling because they match up a lot with what I think about in terms of information literacy. The constructs were established after a thorough literature review, and then the AILS instrument was actually tested and validated. So as of, I think, late last year, this was the only tested AI literacy tool. So the 4 major constructs are awareness, usage, evaluation, and ethics. And we could just walk through them real fast. Awareness is the ability to identify and comprehend AI technology during the use of AI-related applications. So that does not require in-depth technical knowledge or ability. While it can be useful to learn that, and especially if you are in more of a computer sciences background, it's helpful to do that. But otherwise, it's not required. We don't need it to be able to use AI effectively. I do want to point out that one of the things they include in this is identifying whether AI is present or not in something, which I think can be harder when you're thinking of things that aren't like the generative AI as we know it, but things that are more in the background. I think the first thing that pops in my mind is things like AI and video games. So that kind of thing that isn't openly acknowledged. So being able to identify that as well is important. Next is usage. So the ability to apply and exploit AI technology to accomplish tasks proficiently. So it includes the ability to quickly learn how to use and apply new tools. So usually you'd have to try out a few tools to achieve this AI literacy area. So I really like this because I think it's easy to think you're AI literate if you just go in and put something in, then have to experiment with it a whole bunch. But part of the point of being AI literate is being able to do it efficiently. So if you're using AI to improve the efficiency of your work or your task, but you are not efficient with AI, then that is not literacy. That is just flailing around with a tool. Next is evaluation, or the ability to analyze, select, and critically evaluate AI applications and their outcomes. So this kind of boils down to choosing the most appropriate AI tool for current needs, surveying what's out there, picking what best meets whatever you're trying to accomplish it with. It also applies to, as you use a tool, recognizing how it's helpful to you personally, judging those different outcomes, saying like, is this something that I want? Do I need to do a lot of remediation editing with this outcome, or can I use it pretty much as is? So it's not just selecting the AI tool, but also continuously evaluating what the AI tool is giving you and what a variety of tools are giving you. And then last is ethics, or the ability to be aware of the responsibilities and risks associated with the use of AI technology and to ensure that AI technology is used correctly and appropriately. So this is probably the vaguest of the things that they're assessing. Basically, they say you need both knowledge of and the ability to respond to issues relating to privacy, information security, copyright, environment, any other things you can think of that come up when you're using AI. I know something a lot of professors are thinking about, their faculty are like, how does this impact your ability to complete tasks without the support of AI? So that's something else to be thinking about. I really like that they mention that you have to actually like implement your knowledge of ethics. You can't just know that AI is sometimes not the best tool, but also follow through with that. Some of the things that they suggest asking is being like, do I need to use AI for this? Like if I'm balancing the concerns about privacy, should I be using AI? So that's something that comes up here a lot with personal information, the student information protected by FERPA, as well as just confidential information around the campus. AI might make it easier to do something, but should you be putting it in that tool if it's proprietary? Which is also then which tool, because we do have the Enterprise Gemini account. So things to be thinking about and to be responding to. Basically, if your assignment addresses all 4 of the AILS constructs, then it supports AI literacy. Congratulations, you've picked a good one. That's all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you.